So we want to tell you how we did our most recent photo shoot for Planet Pods. I had a really interesting time learning about what it meant to have a product online, and what I found was so much of your legitimacy is really hinged on how high quality your content is, your product photography, and the assets that are representing your company and your product in a digital environment. So since you have a limited opportunity with the consumer online to really sell them, so much of that is going to be in your product photography. My budget, most of the time, all the time, pretty much of all time, is pretty small. Literally, you're looking at where we shot it, which was right here. The kind of camera equipment that I used for this was my iPhone. So this is my living room studio, which, as you can see, is basically just a white poster board that's about 1/8 of an inch thick, lying on the floor under a photography light that I had ordered online. Made sure going into this that nothing was covering the tag and that it was very prominent in the shot, and I used a smaller box for that reason. Going into taking a shot, you want to make sure that you have enough space to edit around and that you get a good shadow so that you can blend that in the background later. So now that we've gotten our product photography, we are just going to import that into Photoshop to edit. And I do want to note that we uploaded it into Lightroom first and did a few modifications to the brightness, to the contrast, and then up the vibrancy just a bit for the color treatment. I prefer to trace it with a pen tool and using a path, copy the product, edit in the background later, and modify to blend in the shadow that we were capturing earlier. So as you're tracing around your product, just making sure that you're not getting in any of the background, trimming just enough along the lines. If there is anything fuzzy, you can just kind of crop that out entirely. It's not as if you're cropping out someone's body, which we shouldn't be using Photoshop to crop out bodies. We're just crop out fat or whatever people are using it for. But there's no harm done when just cropping out a little bit of fuzzy. You want to make a selection. I'll do like 1 to 0 pixel feather, and then you see there I just left click copy, and then that piece that we just traced around is now its own individual layer. You just saw that I modified the canvas size to be a perfect square, so this is great for social media, and when I go to import it into Shopify later, I like to just keep that ratio because it doesn't change anything responsive display wise, moving from desktop to mobile, and that square ratio is just really translatable. So yeah, here I just created another layer that is just solid color. And again, wanted to make that kind of indicative of the brand or the personality for each tag. What I mentioned earlier with capturing the shadow, you definitely want that shadow so that that maintains a sense of realism. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I would go to edit, I would digitize things too much. And it didn't look like it was actually photographed or real. And when that becomes less real, then there's a question of, is this product gonna actually show up to my house when I order it? So here I just went back and did a little touching up, removing some of that background. When you keep that in, it's like, that was a horrible crop job. Like someone did it in their living room, which we're trying to avoid the fact that we did in my living room, not show that fact. So here's the final product. It looks super great, I think. Hope you can let me know if you don't think so. Here were the other products that we shot, took the same process, just showed you the ones so that, it's not repetitive. If there's anything else that you want us to touch on, let me know. We're gonna start creating more of these videos, thinking about branding it like D360 tutorials or something like that. But if there's anything that you still want to know or you have questions about for your company, if you're just starting up, you know, we're here and want to help people. Oh, and subscribe. That's something that you need to ask for. So yeah, please subscribe. I would really like that. And yeah,